So you get the idea here. For this exercise, we're going to be engaging the targets with rapid fire pairs like you normally do in a match. I would call this predictive shooting as opposed to reactive. So let me explain what's going on here. Normally you look at a target, the sights line up on it, and you're going to, as you are well aware, if you're gripping the gun properly, the gun doesn't really move around that much. So you can shoot, you can shoot pretty fast. All right. How are you supposed to know how fast you can shoot? I know it sounds basic. It's not a dumb question. Well, it's not a dumb question.
It's experience. Exactly.
Training and experience. That's how you have the ability to predict how the gun's going to behave in recoil. Like, you have to, again, this is something you have to train on and experiment with and try, and then you will learn kind of what you can get away with. For the purposes of this exercise, think about it like a USPSA target. All right, so we're going to use the scoring rings. What that means is if we're shooting back from the green line of cones, you could still shoot, at an aggressive pace where you're predicting the gun's coming back down. You're shooting faster than you can react to each individual sight picture. And maybe you're going to soak up some C's, but that is beneficial. The scoring system sort of rewards that thing, right? We're on the same page there. So again, it's important. Think about it like a USPSA. Okay. Things you focus on for this exercise. Holding the gun properly, that's pretty much all you have to worry about. The same things will happen. If you over-tense your firing hand, as you're firing that pair of shots, you push down into the gun, you're going to hit low into the target. If you're right-handed, you'll push down like this. If you have insufficient support hand grip on the gun, obviously it's going to get away from you in recoil. If you're shooting a pattern like this on the target, I'm going to walk by and be like, hey, go faster. It won't matter. If you're shooting 14 splits, like Joel can shoot, I won't care. I'll still walk by and go faster. Because that's really all there is to do. And how are you going to shoot faster?
Pull the trigger faster.
Yeah. So you relax. Exactly. Pull the trigger faster, which you'd be shooting as fast as you can pull the trigger up here anyway. You have to try to relax your hand and just work the trigger just a little bit faster, which, it's hard to do. If you over-tense your hand, you might get that trigger freeze where you're unable to release the trigger and reset for the second shot, right? That's the stuff that's likely to happen on this exercise, okay? But it's pretty similar to the last thing, right? You're gonna focus on the same stuff. Draw the gun, grip it properly, aim it, all right? Boom, boom, fire a pair, and assess what happened, okay? And fire another pair. There's a couple things to pay a lot of attention to here. So first thing, when we're firing rapid fire pairs like this and doing predictive shooting, what a lot of people do with that, with the way they read that is they're going to aim once and then they fire twice. And it's almost like once they decide to start shooting, it's like they might as well close their eyes. You know what I mean? Because they don't see anything that's happening. I want you to keep your eyes open and see how the gun recoils. Like, see what's happening. You should still see where they're going, even though you're going to be shooting so fast that you can't really consciously react to anything that's happening. You're going to fire a pair and you'll kind of see what just happened, play back the tape a little bit, adjust things if necessary for the next pair. So for example, if I see my sight go like, what just happened? Seriously, what happened?
Not enough support.
Nope. They went over, if it goes over to the side, if it goes this way,
too much.
My firing hand is doing it. You can never support hand grip your way out of that. You can still push your other hand. If I push them together hard, if I just momentarily increase pressure on one side, I can move the gun. But again, you have to keep your eyes open and see what the sights are doing in recoil. And if you see that and you see hole there, that's a clue about what's happening. Okay? If you see this, I see one shot here, another one up here, I've got two choices. Grip the gun harder or slow down. We're going to do this backing up. You will hit the limit of how much you can control the recoil, especially if you're shooting major. By reading the sights and seeing what's happening, you can predict how things are going to play out, and you'll get a sense for how fast you can go and what you can get away with. But you have to be watching. Okay, don't just disregard stuff. See how the gun's tracking. It's easier to see probably with a dot, so just pay attention to that. That tells you a lot. Then you'll build your ability to predict how the gun's going to behave and how it's going to react. All right, there's one other thing I'll say. I won't make you dry fire, but when you come up and do dry fire, do it just the same as before. where you set the safety on your gun, or if you have a striker fired pistol, it just goes dead. But again, aim, or press, and try to hold the gun as still as you can, minimize the motion of your firing hand, all that. You can still do dry fire and get a lot of benefit out of it from this. All right, I suppose there's one other thing I should mention. Let's set the expectations realistically. Up at close range from this blue line, like 5 yards away, I would take some dipshit off the street who'd never fired a gun before, and I would show them how to hold it, and it would be as fast as you can pull the trigger. And if they're like somewhat capable, maybe they play video games or something, within an hour or two, they'd probably be shooting him in the A zone, right? That's for everybody here. Up at this blue line, it's as fast as you can pull the trigger. That's what I want. As you back up, it's going to change a little bit. Guys shooting dots, probably 10 yards away, they can still shoot like boom, 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 as fast as they can pull the trigger. Higher level guys, a grandmaster guy with iron sights, 15 yards, still as fast as they can pull the trigger. If you're shooting an open gun, they have major scoring, they have a comp on it. They could probably do this from 25 yards as fast as they can pull the trigger and get an acceptable result. Just so your expectations are set. Like you have a good idea of what we want here. You'd be surprised what you might be capable of here. Practical shooting training. It's got drills, live fire drills, some guidance for dry fire, some dry fire drills, lots of different places you can start. It works for people of all different levels. If you want to train seriously with a handgun, especially for competition, this is the one to get.